Summary of the episode: they had to cut off Fergus's hand, and Jamie had to have sex with Mary McNabb, and both those scenes were pretty stellar.
Welcome to episode...
I'm not doing this. Well, first of all, my peeps are going to be live on
Well,
the beard.
I was trying to figure out why Chris Liams had red hair, because I didn't think he had red hair, but
the beard was a tiny bit better this time. It was a little bit better. This is with spoilers.
I like it.
But I mean, I guess it's in a sense it's a spoiler to talk about something being different from the way it is in the book, because somebody just saw the episode, but maybe they haven't read the book. She made a big deal about that when he would come down to visit the family, as you saw him do, and he would get shaved. And then he would get his hair cut, and he would get shaved. And the way he was sort of acting the whole time in the show, where he was not really talking, and where he was being very...
Grizzly Adams.
Oh, Grizzly Adams was friendly. He was more like...
Grizzly Adams is friendly?
He was very morose and very untalkative, and then Diana Gabaldon would talk about how he would become more talkative and more amiable and sort of a little more loosened up as he shed this hair and this beard and felt himself become a little more civilized than when he was living in his cave. And that cave looked a lot more civilized than I imagined.
Speaking of his cave, was there the 60-inch flat screen television in the cave in his book?
Well, no, but I just really pretty much imagined in the book...
He had high-speed internet in that cave.
No, I just kind of imagined that he was laying on a blanket in the middle of a cave, I didn't think there was much in there, but maybe I'll have to...
He had an espresso machine in his cave.
But maybe I'll have to go back and reread it. And...
I think he could order Fresh Direct in his cave. There were no boobies in this episode.
Well, I think you're probably glad that there weren't any boobies in this episode, because the sex scene that they did not use from the book, and I know a lot of people who don't like Frank. I don't know why people hate on Frank, but a lot of people...
Frank is such a nice guy.
Well, there's a scene in the book where...
I like Frank.
Let's just say some boobs are involved, but also some milk is involved. So maybe you wouldn't think that's too sexy.
Oh, she's a pregnant woman.
She's a nursing
woman.
Yes. And it's done in a very romantic way, but I think it might be a lot more romantic sounding in the book than it would be on screen.
There are... many mornings when there's no milk for coffee, and Roosters isn't open till 7 o'clock.
I told you, it was just a totally different scene in the book. But you noticed that they did that little parallel scene when they did Jamie and Mary McNabb, because
Again, a scene with no boobies.
Yeah, the only boob you really saw was when Laura Donnelly started to nurse the baby, and that was probably a fake boob.
Prosthetics.
Yeah.
There's always got to be prosthetics.
But, when Jamie was with Mary McNabb, you saw that she said, "You can look at me," and since you didn't really see his face, I didn't realize until he said it, something like, "Oh, I always do that," or something, is that she saw that his eyes were closed. And so they were making that
was a parallel.
Yeah, they were making a parallel between him and Claire.
A parallel of lines.
Yeah. But I cried for both those scenes. I cried when Fergus had his hand cut off, and I also cried when he was with Mary McNabb, because that's such a scene in the book that she comes to him and she's just like, I just want to do this for you. You know, this doesn't have to mean anything. Don't worry that it means something it doesn't. You're going off to prison forever, as far as they know. But that little bit of dialogue, I think, about that he's not looking at her, I think is not from the book.
Sweetie, you didn't cry when they shaved Grizzly Adams?
No, I was maybe like, I thought that was a nice touch. I don't know that's from the book. I mean, as I said, when he would come down and visit them in the house at Lollybrook, they would shave him. But I think Jenny would shave him. So, I mean, basically, they hit the notes they needed to hit. Everyone that's read the books knows that Fergus's hand gets cut off. I mean, that's like a huge thing. And Fergus, you know, spoiler, is still in the books. There's like book 8, and Fergus is in every book. You know,
and to make the production cheap, does he just go around the rest of the season with a Kermit on his hand, a Muppet, a Kermit the Frog?
No, he gets a hook. This is like the olden days. He doesn't get a prosthetic hand or some bionic hand or something. He just gets a hook.
I'd say a prosthetic hand. I just thought he should get a Muppet hand.
No. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if my favorite thing in this episode so much was, like, even though it had to be a very, very subtle performance last week with Sam, and I thought he did a great job. This week, I don't know. I was, like, it was so subdued, you know, and I didn't exactly get the feeling in the books that he was constantly so subdued. I got the feeling that he did enjoy to come down and spend some time with the family when he would do that. But, I mean, he was up there for 7 years, coming down to see people once a month.
Sweetie is just trying to, you know, say that she's upset that he wasn't naked more.
Well, he was naked, actually. When Claire was when she was imagining him when she was, you know.
When she was...
Yeah, you don't have to say it. This is rated PG. See, I'm missing Mary and Blake right now. They're live.
And
they go live after the show. Actually, also, the Outlander pod ladies, Ginger and Summer, they go live also. And Lonnie's thing is already up. I'm missing everything right now. I'm missing it all. I'm missing all their commentary. But Lonnie's just going to say, oh, God, I don't care about Frank.
I feel just like Frank right now